You know,
I love you.
and then I never miss a fight.
I love you. That's what I love about you, Barb. That's what I love about you. You were fantastic. It was great. You had a nice little group last night in the meeting. It was very, very nice to see them.
Yeah, then they all wanted to go out afterwards. Like, it was just like old times, and then they eat so late. They eat so late at night. I couldn't believe it. So I was eating, and one girl had cancer. Two people got really good signals.
Great.
Michael got a signal, and then afterwards, his girlfriend, who was quiet during the things, came up to me and goes, "Wow, I meditate all the time, and when every time he would say a statement, I could feel this thing going up my whole body, right? Like when I meditate."
Yeah.
So let me change my shirt. I'll be right back. Yeah, it was good.
So, Boots, how's your life been?
Oh, it's great. I just got back from a party.
In the daytime?
Yeah, it was a kids' party.
Oh, like a birthday party or something, right?
Exactly. And we went sledding, and there's a lot of snow.
Oh.
And it was really loud and wild, and there were like 29-year-old kids, some girls. And my ears are still ringing, but...
That's totally fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Remember yelling?
But it's a good time. They were just so loud, and they're playing like Star Wars games, so they're like running through the house with those lightsabers and just being crazy,
You have a mischievous streak, and you're somebody who can play like a kid.
Yeah.
You have spent your life playing, doing things that people are...
Well, that was my goal, True. I just want to have fun.
Girls just want to have fun.
Well, boys do too, but...
Boys can tend to get very, very serious.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why they need me around.
That's right. Boy, Franny sits there
I'm the antidote to seriousness.
Franny sits there and looks at us and goes, "Boy, you guys are awful serious."
You and Greg?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We could put the two of us together, we're serious squared.
Oh, God. But I'm sure you have a good time, too.
We do. We have a good time being serious.
Yeah.
Serious.
Have you been using your rebounder?
Yes, why?
I don't know, I just thought of it. I saw mine in the garage today, and I thought it's time to bust that baby out.
I'm on a rebounder program. I rebound twice a day. I rebound just for a few minutes, just to limber myself up before I go out for my jog in the park, in the wildlife area. And so I do that, and then I often do that between cleaning up the kitchen in the morning and going on the computer in the morning, and then I go to the wildlife area. And then in the evening I do a 12-minute workout.
That's good.
Bayard is the new Jane Fonda.
We're going to make some more videos.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to be shooting some myself, I think, tomorrow.
Good.
So, workout videos for my dad's website.
Are you going to do 100 push-ups in one of them, like you were talking about?
Well, you know what? I'm still working on that. And what happened is the water fast derailed my push-ups. I just couldn't do them. I was too wiped out. So I got out of the program, because you have to build on it, and you do every day you do a little bit more. And I kind of fell back, a week's a long time. So I think I'm back up to 55 or so.
How's the thyroid nodule?
Well,
you don't know, right?
I have a call into the doctor. He's on Easter holiday, so he's going to, might have called me today, but he's going to get back to me this week for an appointment, and then I'll know for sure.
We came up with doing your, like interacting with your immune system, like testing, asking your immune system questions and how's that? Have you been doing that?
No.
Okay. Because what I understand is your immune system is attacking your thyroid, and that's what causes the nodules. And you have one nodule, and what you got to do is be like, your immune system has to become your new best friend.
Yeah.
You know? So that means you got to do a lot of talking to your immune system all day, and tweeting about talking about it, and if I don't see any tweets about it, I'll know you're not doing it. How about that?
That's talking to
How about that?
I'll monitor. I'll help you. I'll monitor your talking to your immune system. You just talk to it all day and tweet about it, and I will, I'll feed you back more things to do with it. I'll come up with tons of things. I have no shortage of ability to come up with stuff mnemic actions to do.
That's good.
One thing about me, is I can come up with mnemic actions, no problem, for other people to do.
But then, more focused on Facebook, I don't seem to be able to do both Twitter and Facebook, but I'll go back and do Twitter more than Facebook.
Feed your tweets into Facebook.
Yeah.
Figure out how to make that happen. And when you've done that, then you can tweet your exercise videos and so on, and they'll go into Facebook also. They'll go both places.
Right.
So you won't see, some people watch Twitter, some people watch Facebook, and if you hit both, you'll get them all. That's the theory, anyway.
Okay. It's a good plan.
We should acknowledge that we started 10 minutes late. And I should ask, by the way, I was late. I just want to acknowledge that. So, shall we go 10 minutes past our usual ending time, or end at 1:15?
I can go 10 minutes past.
Barb, you want to go 10 minutes past?
Yes.
Or maybe 8 minutes past.
Okay. So we'll end at. Okay, I get it. All right, I see it. I see the time. Okay, now Barb, you don't have too much light, but you don't look too bad either. Right. So.
Yeah, I'll turn some lights on.
You can use that light, or you can have more. So we're going to go back to self-esteem, because what I found is that self-esteem is the key issue for the Cure team and for everybody. And it's self-esteem that drives people to cure things. And people with low self-esteem have this gigantic stumbling block in the way of curing things. This is something everybody needs. And also, I'm noticing that they agree, because the movies that we make on self-esteem tend to get a lot of hits. I'm noticing that people...
It's a global problem.
It's a global problem. It's like self-esteem is it's the key issue for everybody. So, okay, we're back to Barb executing your action plan. And how's that been going?
Pretty good. I feel like I've stayed busy all day and had enough actions to do, and money's been dribbling in here and there, and coming up with clear ideas.
Have you been asking people for money?
Yeah, or asking people for things things I need, but yes, more.
Okay. One thing I want to mention is money is a button. Money is a bone of contention. Money is something that people struggle with. And so asking people for money has a special place in the asking hierarchy.
Yeah.
And it's, you haven't cured it unless you've... Okay, here's the thing, okay?
True.
I'm going to tell you where your... what am I trying to say? Okay, there are some skills that you need to develop. And you cannot... One thing I realize is you cannot learn a skill. Skills... people always talk about, I'm learning the skill of, such and such, right? And... That's just, it's okay to say that. It's not a bad thing to say. But it is not accurate. Nobody ever learns a skill. You learn facts. Facts are learned, skills are assimilated. Skills are developed. You do not, and the one way to assimilate a skill is to watch other people. And that's why I put that movie list there and so on. And that's why we make movies, so people can watch you, because you're both masters of curing things. And actually, I think, Barb, I think your mastery gets in your way. I think that you give yourself permission to not learn, because you say, oh, I'm a master, I don't need to learn anything, you know. And I've done it, baby. I've been there, I did it. I was back when, oh my God, Boots, you didn't hear about this yet, but this woman, I don't know if have you read our tweets this morning?
I don't think so.
Okay, this woman came to the meeting last night and told everybody how much of a difference I made in her life, because she did my course, and she was also one of my assistants. And this was
someone from the past.
This was 30 years ago.
How much?
30 years ago.
Wow.
And she's still using it, still remembers it, still loves it, still is grateful for it. She just
That's a tip of an ice.
Contacted me on Facebook. She just, you know, bingo, all of a sudden, there she was.
I think that's a tip of an iceberg of people. Really, there's a lot of people telling me that in private, but I say, why don't you tell buyer? They don't, or they want you to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, okay, so skills that you need to assimilate for Barb. Okay, here we go. Skill number 1. Getting people involved. Getting them involved and keeping them involved. See, you're great at contacting people. And you're great at interacting with people, and you're great at having fun with people, and you do all that stuff really good. And you don't notice that they're just not going more deeper involved. And that's the question, is this is a huge area. We're not going to, I don't even know if I can, let me give you an example. Somebody gets involved when they realize that they can cure their cancer if they, keep learning the next thing from you, from Immunix, from the web college, whatever. But that's them getting involved. Get it? That's an example. That's supposed to be an example. Okay? Mm-hmm. So the question is, how do you do that? And, this isn't just you. This is the whole cure team. It's everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's also something that I've always been real good at. Why don't we both test on a scale of 1 to 10, how skilled am I at getting people involved? What does Boots get?
Are you talking about me, or are we testing for Barb?
We're testing for you too. We're doing it.
Okay.
So you're testing yourself.
Between 1 and 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a 7, 6 or 7.
That's possible. And you know what? It's also possible that if you're around a 6 or 7 at getting somebody involved, that they will simply never get involved the way they would if you were a 10, and you'd have no way of knowing that. It won't even be like a degree of it. It'll just be they're not involved. They're just off somewhere doing their own thing. Okay? What about you, Boots? What'd you get?
8.
Okay. Now, it's also possible that you can be an 8 and people just aren't very involved. And you'll never know it until you're a 10 and you see, my God, this person is really involved now, you know? And I never saw anybody be as involved as this guy. You know, he just gave me a check for like $15,000 for coaching. You know? Like he bought my services for like 3 months. You know, like I'm going to be talking to him like every day. This guy is involved. You know, I have to tell you, like that, there were these guys who used to get coached with Megan. She was a fitness coach. And she coached them 6 days a week. They paid $3,700 a month. She came for 50 minutes. She had one at 6, one at 7, and one at 8. And then they all went to work after they got their workouts, you know. Mm-hmm. The reason I keep mentioning them is because I remember them really well, because they all died in the World Trade Center attack. And the morning after, Megan was bereft. Like she woke up and like it was devastating. These guys were gone. You know, she used to get in a cab at like 5:45, you know, every morning and go teach the first guy. And she had her dancer bag with her and everything. Couldn't do it. And you know what? She was involved with them. And see, that's part of the skill, is being involved with the person. Like I'm involved with you. I'm with you all day. Like I feel that. You know? Like I look at your tweets, I talk to you, I'm with you. You know? Now, what is this, what do you think this has to do with self-esteem? This, developing this skill, for example.
Oh, it has a lot to do with it.
So say some things that might have to do with it.
Well, you'd have to know that you were really good and have your own esteem in place to get the other people involved with you. And see the value.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how good do I know I am?
Seems like that's a different scale, because I know I'm really good, but the space between knowing I'm good and then wanting to, you know, inflict myself on someone else or have them with me every day, that's a different scale, I think. Willingness to do that. Like if I were doing what Megan was doing, and I have done that, not on that scale, but I've had, you know, individual clients that kept me busy all day. After a while, I thought I was kind of wasting my time. I thought it was better use of time to spend time with more people, either through the internet or just, you know, or in person, than it was to, you know, sit in my, you know, my living room for 3 hours a day with 3 people. It seemed like not efficient. Unless I was taping the sessions, maybe that would have been different. We didn't have filming in those days.
Test for both of you test for Barb. Is this self-sabotage?
Yeah, maybe it's just inertia. So.
Barb?
I don't know if it's self-sabotage because nothing even got started. So maybe it's like inertia or.
Was saying that it's better to do something else. Was that self-sabotage?
Was saying that. At that time? Yeah.
Just now, right now.
It was.
Right now, when you were saying it, were you sabotaging yourself a minute ago?
No.
Boots, what do you get?
Yes.
I got yes too.
Sorry.
But actually, see, you might get no. Your no might be valid because by telling us about it, you gave us the problem to help you with. So actually, you know, it might not have been self-sabotage. It might have just been putting out something to be helped with. And you were helped with it and worked. You know, so you got a result, actually, by saying it. And the thing that's always been great about you is that you're willing to reveal yourself. See, this is the problem Ron Brody has. He finds it impossible to reveal himself. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't know what's there. He can't access it, so it's very hard to talk about something you don't know anything about, you know? Now, let's go to Boots here, okay? Because remember what you were saying about you're a role model for people?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's your way of reaching them, training them, helping them, whatever. Yes, right?
Yes.
And that's a very good thing, obviously. That's a skill that you have, and you are good at exercising it, and it works. You know, you help people with that. Now, Tess, is that enough?
Okay.
Is being a role model enough?
No. It's not enough.
Yeah. You, like as an example of something more, this skill we're discussing, the skill of getting people very, very involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just as an example, the guy in the meeting last night that was Michael, Barb's friend. Michael is somebody Barb is involved with. She's been friends with him for years. Spends a lot of time with him, goes to his house all the time, hangs out with his friends. Well, you know, he is the ideal example of a coaching client. He's rich, he needs coaching, and he knows Barb is great. And if you think about how much time you have spent with Michael coaching him for free, which you have done, right, Barb?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say so, yeah.
Over years,
Mm-hmm.
at the rates we charge, when we charge people, has Michael already received for free over $10,000 worth of coaching? Just test it. Both of you.
Yeah.
Got a yes?
Yeah. He and his relationships. Yeah.
Boots, what about you? Did you get a yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Barb, over 100,000.
No.
Boots, what do you get?
Yes.
Absolutely. But there's a caveat here. Because you weren't coaching him, what you gave him was not... but when I say you weren't coaching him, you were coaching him, but when I talk about coaching, I'm talking about a formal coaching arrangement where he knows he's being
I've asked him about that. He didn't want to do it. I've asked him.
He's doing his homework. Yes, he's not involved enough.
Mm-hmm.
He's not involved. Where he's doing his home, and also, see, there's something else here, okay? Yesterday, a woman called me. She's 18, and she said to me, she has herpes, and she said to me, if I cure my herpes, will I still be able to give it to anybody? That was her question. Her important question. Now, does that sound like an important question to you?
Cure my herpes, well, yeah, and for her it was. Cure my herpes, well,
does it sound like one to you, Boots? Does it sound like an important question to you?
Yeah.
Okay, then you have another skill that you haven't even scratched the surface of, which is the skill of evaluating people. The question was stupid and it was nuts. I mean, she's an 18-year-old dipshit who doesn't know anything about nothing, and she isn't going to cure anything. Okay? She's got a lot of growing up to do first. She's going to be having herpes outbreaks for a few more years at least, and I am not calling her back. I'm not going to spend any time with her because she's a waste of my time. And if you think people like that are important, or if the questions they ask are important, then you're in a fog about evaluating people. You have to make very sharp evaluations of people. For example, I like Michael, and so do you, but it's possible that Michael is just the wrong person for coaching anyway.
He is.
He may just not be any good, you know, and so he can be a good friend, but whatever you pour into him, the love, the coaching that you poured into him over the years, may just have been a waste of your time. And you were right about going and getting with somebody else. When you were talking before about you spent too much time with some people and you needed to get out and be with other people, if you're with the wrong people, if you're not good at evaluating people, you probably will be, because there are very few right people and an awful lot of wrong ones. You two are right. You're the right people. You know, you're examples of the right people, okay? Spending time with each other is good. Like I've noticed you guys get together on Skype, and I think that's terrific, and I think that, you know, I was really happy to see that. I think Barb should own a camera and video you when she's helping you cure things too, Boots. And you should do the same. I suppose you already probably have a camera, right?
Who, me?
Yeah, you have a digital camera.
Barb.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I think you should video your screen when you're helping Barb cure things, and you should put your curing videos on your YouTube accounts and, you know, represent yourselves. Now, I have put up movies of Barb on her YouTube account. She is represented on her YouTube account. When people go to her account, they don't get nothing. You know, they get Barb. So that's good, you know. But hey, Barb, there's nothing like making your own movies, you know? Really.
You know, I'd like to say something.
Please.
When you said, is that an important question?
Mm-hmm.
I understood it as, is it an important question for you to understand what this who this person is and what they're, you know, about?
All right.
That's what I thought.
I judged you hastily. But listen, even if you have...
You're forgiven, okay.
Even if you have... I think your skills of evaluation are very good. And the reason I think that is because when I was talking with you about, you know, writing to John MacDonald, it was a few weeks ago, and there was a point where you said, you know, John MacDonald is not capable of tipping cure into global consciousness, even if he gets it. And that was very insightful and shows a real high degree of skill, because John MacDonald is a respected doctor with thousands of people who worship and follow him and watch his movies, and I happen to be one of those people who really loves him. But I would tend to agree with you. He is a potential supporter, but not...
I still wrote him a letter.
Good. Good.
I haven't sent it because I wanted to read it to you, but...
Okay, well, why don't we read it on Friday? I don't know if we have time to get into that right now, but the point is, I have another thing for you to read, you guys to read too, on Friday. But you should bring this up on Friday in case I'm roaring along and I totally space on the whole thing, okay?
It's not possible. Come on.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the vote of confidence. This is good, you know. So anyway, okay, one of the other skills, Barb, that you have to assimilate is the skill of asking.
Okay.
And so one thing that you need to do, and the way you assimilate skills is by practicing. And the way you're practicing asking is the way, I'm sorry, the way you're practicing asking is, the way you is to, you need to set a quota that you ask people, a different person for money at least 20 times in each single day, number one. Wow. And two, that you bring in it can just be a small amount, but let's say a minimum of $30 each day, 7 days a week, as a result of asking people for money. And you need to just stick to these, so if you haven't hit your minimum, then you ask again.
Ask strangers. Okay.
And the other thing is that, of course, you want to pay all your bills, and of course you want to buy a new car, and of course, you know, whatever, you know, you have all these things you want. But also, when you bring in some money each day, you should also simply spend the money. Sometimes buying things that, you know, you need, like some supplements or something, and sometimes just buying something that hits your fancy, like a loaf of interesting bread at Whole Foods, or you know, go out to dinner with
shoes.
What?
Pair of shoes.
A pair of shoes. Yeah, a pair of shoes is good. You know, funny thing, you know, like I always had money in my pocket all my life because I always did this. I always made sure I had cash.
Me too. Gotta have cash.
You know, I was reading in Fast Company about startups, and they were talking about, like, when you start up something, the first thing you should ask is, where's the cash? And you just do things that bring in cash, so you have cash while you're because usually startups lose money at first. But if you're bringing in some cash, at least you have some spending money, and so maybe you're not making a profit. You're operating at a 2 or 3 or $50 or $1 million loss a month, or whatever it is. If you're Amazon, you know, 100 million, you're losing 100 million a month, but you're starting the thing up. You're getting it going. You know? Like when the guy started FedEx, he went 80 million into the hole.
Wow.
With his startup, you know, he went $80 million into the hole. But you know, but still, if you're bringing in cash, you feel good. So that's a rule of thumb. It's like, bring that money in and spend it, because spending it will cause you to experience it. Like, don't try to save it up for, like, paying your rent. Bring in $800 somewhere else to pay your rent. You know, like, bring it, you know, if you want something else that's expensive, you know, you want to get a smartphone, you know. But see, if you bring in that kind of money, you could probably afford to. Oh, by the way, one other thing that's a good thing, and this helps you build this skill of not only asking, but bringing in money as a skill. And it's something I've always been able to do. My mother taught me how to make money. So I was always able to make money, because when I was on my 16th birthday, when I got my driver's license, I bought a car and I sold it at a $100 profit 5 days later. You know, and that was the beginning of my love affair with buying and selling cars, and later working for a very short period of time as a car salesman in various, you know, car dealerships. And I did that paid for my trip to India when I went to see Meher Baba. You know, I worked at Auto France Service Incorporated. I was a salesman there.
Don't forget the cat.
Oh, did you hear the story of the cat?
I did.
Oh, that's my best manifesting and Meher Baba story ever. But
it is. It's a classic.
We don't have time to tell it right now, though. So it helps you to bring in cash to do something impulsive, like you know, let's say you bring in money like every day for a week or something, Barb, and you know, and you hit your quota, and you ask 20 people every day, and you're feeling competent at it. You're feeling like, I can do this, you know, and you walk into a cell phone store and you plunk down, you know, the money for the smartphone of your dreams, you know. Go ahead, you know, or go buy yourself a camera or whatever. Just you know, oh, this camera's
Blow
like, this camera's like $550, but this will be a great camera for me. And you just do it, you know? Like, trust yourself. Trust that you can assimilate these skills. Now, there's one other thing about, you know, self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know how when you fail, it lowers your self-esteem?
Yeah.
It doesn't if you learn from it.
Yeah.
So the idea is, like, Barb, can you think of anything like you did at your meeting last night that was the wrong thing?
Maybe not getting each of them a signal earlier, or the way they were seated.
Okay. Let's take the first one. Why not do first things first? Okay, so now, have you learned anything from that?
Yeah.
What?
I just saw how much more excited Michael, for example, was after he got a signal, and he just suddenly was really involved, and he was really excited about it.
So you just learned something about the skill of getting people involved, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, how are you going to put this into action?
Well, I also said Michael's he's I noticed this about a lot of people. Different people respond to
don't add anything to it. How are you going to put this into action?
Maybe introduce more people to you, or Jennifer, or other people. Like get more people involved with my people.
Okay, what about a simple action plan? A very simple action plan that you never proceed without first having everybody start getting a whole series of signals.
Maybe you mean do that before the meeting starts. Okay, yeah, that's a good.
Which would then imply that everybody comes to the meeting early, or you don't tell them what time the meeting starts. You just say, "We're starting at 8:30," and you sit them down together, and they do it with each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And also, how you were saying that people respond differently to different people.
Mm-hmm.
So pick people who people respond to and put them together.
And their tries together, yeah.
So now you're learning tons, right? You just came up with a whole bunch of new things to do. Now test this question. Did my self-esteem just go up?
Yes.
Do you feel it?
Yes.
Boots? You feel it?
Yes. I got a yes. I do feel it.
Okay. You got to feel it, baby. You got to feel it. Okay, so the thing is that when you must look at every failure with a microscope and modify your action plan accordingly, and that will keep your self-esteem at a high level.
I got a lot to work with then.
Yeah, that's right. See, the funny thing is, you know, here you are, Boots. You're this beautiful woman who is also very skilled. You know, you're skilled at curing things. You're skilled with physical exercise. Like, you could train somebody to use a trampoline. Like, you have like 1,000,000 skills. Like, literally like 1,000,000 skills. How could you ever have low self-esteem?
I have a few failures too.
Well, see, that the failures, you have to remember, the failures mean nothing.
Yeah.
When your mistakes mean nothing, what you learn from them means everything.
Right. That was a good one.
And if you are not learning from each thing, then your self-esteem will plummet. So that means that, you know something, there's something that we used to say to people 30 years ago when Joey was around. And she loved all this stuff that we used to do. You know, she was saying, like she was telling this story about I was having this tantrum. and, you know, we were by the elevators. Joey used to sit at the enrollment table. She assisted for like 3 years. She'd come into the center a few times a week. Anyway, and Franny was talking to me, and I was having this temper tantrum, and Franny said to me, well, I'm going to go. She said, I know you can complete this without me. And she remembered that. Like 30 years later, she's sharing that with us, you know. And something that I used to say to people is, don't insult people's, what our word for it now would be their diseases. Don't insult people's diseases. Insult the person. One of the skills that you need to assimilate is the skill of insulting people.
Yeah, I need to learn that one.
You know? So you need to be more than a role model. You need to be a challenge.
Yeah, I need to be more involved, like you said.
Yes, because one way to get people involved is to challenge them.
Right.
You know, you got to.
Well, you know, I can't go and say like right now. I'm putting together this bikini boot camp, and every woman I see in my town, I'm telling them, okay, I'm doing bikini boot camp. You got to come. I can't say, have you looked in the mirror lately? You really like that?
Yes, you can. You actually can. That's the idea.
Be able to live here.
I understand.
That's funny.
And see, that's the skill. The skill is insulting people in such a way as that they respond and rise to the insult by, saying, okay. Now, some people are the right people, some people are the wrong people, and the other part of that is that when you have these skills, you are going to polarize people. Barb, it's very easy to ask 20 people. You can ask 20 people for money in 15 minutes. Just go out on the median of the highway with your bumper stickers and walk down the line of cars and count every person. Not all of the people in the cars will interact with you, but at any given red light, 2 or 3 of the people will interact with you. Some will say yes, some will say no, but you will hit 20 very quickly. And you might hit $30 in 15 or 20 minutes, and then you'll be all set for the rest of the day. You can go play. If you don't want any more money, you can just leave it at that, But do that. Do something. Just make a rule for yourself. It's like some people go without exercise and some people don't. I have a rule. I exercise. I don't go without exercise ever. Oh, I hurt my foot. I still exercise. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm limping as I run. I run. Because I don't want to feel the way I feel when I don't exercise, and you don't want to feel the way you feel when you don't do what I'm telling you to do here in this call. You do not want to go back to feeling that way. Mm-hmm. You want to feel the good way. So yes, Boots, you can do it, and you know what? When you do it, you will find that some people do hate you and you can't live around them, and the other people will pat you on the back and they'll say, I'm in. And you know what? She's never going to fix herself. She just doesn't have the commitment. And they'll know and it will make them more involved and more committed. Because you're somebody who's controversial and polarizes people. If you're controversial, people feel more involved with you. So some people, Barb, they're going to see you walking around asking people for money, and they're going to say, all Barb wants is money. She's a real creep. That's going to happen. People who you love and respect and admire and who you want to be your friends won't be. And you know what? That's good. Because this is going to teach, this is how you evaluate people. You put people through these tests. That's how you evaluate people. And as you evaluate people, your self-evaluation goes up and your self-esteem goes up. and you realize that you're not evaluating people, they're evaluating themselves. And you're just getting out of the way and letting them do that.
Okay.
You know? And so they're responsible for themselves and how they feel about themselves, and they think it's about you, but it never is. It's always about them. It's never about you. Always about them. Well, this was quite a decent length little. We went past the 8 minutes overtime, Boots. We're 3 minutes or 4 minutes past the 8 minutes overtime. But this is good, right?
Really good.
Tess, did I cure anything during this meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Boots, what do you say?
Let's go to the 145th dimension.
I already went there before I asked.
Okay.
This movie was given to you by HUM, the World Ministry of Immunics, which enables you to cure medically incurable diseases. We also produce the Cure Drive in the iCollege of Immunics. This is the home page. And as you see here, the movie that starts playing automatically when the page opens is a 3-hour tutorial film, which underneath it is the beginning of a series of movies. If you click on these links, you go to another movie that's a continuation of the tutorial, showing different aspects of the things that people need to get into when they cure things. The movie shows many people curing things. You'll find complete cure tutorials on the home page. Under the group at the top is another, this is a video and text tutorial, and if you click on the link, you'll see it has 10 lessons, and you can click on each lesson and you'll see that the lessons are movies interspersed with explanations. And if you continue scrolling down the home page, you'll find a huge bank of movies of people curing things. Here's one of someone curing multiple sclerosis that you can click on and these play. Hopefully this one will play in a moment. There it is. So that woman cured PPMS and MS. Here you'll find people from every continent: Europe, the US, Asia, Canada. This woman cured shingles, and in this particular movie that's what she's demonstrating. And at the top of the home page you will find links to the cure meetings that we have every week. 9 p.m. New York time, Rome time 8 p.m. Underneath the cure meetings you'll find a link to friend me. It's actually Byard. I'm Byard speaking to you on Facebook, and you'll meet many people who are my Facebook friends there who have cured various diseases. Many of us have cured herpes, which is what I cured. Also there, if you have trouble getting signals, there is a whole bank of movies that focus on people who are just starting to get their first signals. Many of these people went on to bigger and better things, and you see them in other movies. But these are movies about their signals, how they got their first signals. At the very top of the home page, you will find above the masthead a link to the cure shows. And we documented people curing things on, we did this on the phone. There are shows on about 75 diseases, and the diseases are listed alphabetically, as you can see. You actually hear the people curing these diseases during these shows. That's post-traumatic stress syndrome from 9/11, you know, the catastrophe. We have a show on that, and fever, somebody curing the fever, several people curing fibromyalgia, flu. We had a flu hotline, and there are many people. These people are actually curing flu, and the flu stops. It clears up during the 15 or 20 minutes of the call. It doesn't take long to cure the flu. Over here you have paralysis, parasitic parenting, Parkinson's disease. When you cure something, please join your voice with the voices of the many people who came before you by reporting your cure in our poll, which you can do right above the tally of the cures that people have reported is here at the top. And as you can see, there's a little link here. And if you click on that, you will come to a form that enables you to report your cure. This page is the hub of the Web College. And as you can see, there are detailed lessons on how to remove viruses, cure cancer. Here's a movie on the right here of a doctor who actually years ago cured the flu on camera. You'll notice that skill 1 in the hierarchy of skills is cure physical diseases. That's actually the easiest thing with this particular approach. And I've put a great many things in the hierarchy of skills that relate to curing physical diseases, such as ending trauma, working on your organs. Now, if we go into the Recode Your DNA, there are 10 applications or 11 applications, and Recode Your DNA is one of them. If we go inside here, what we see is a page with a huge amount of links. And then if we look at the links on the right, after the ones on the left which prepare you, these are the actual lessons. And you can see some of them. It might be hard for some people to see why blind installation procedure is related to recoding your DNA. And this is why we've put it in this application, so that it relates it in your mind. This is the reason the Web College is organized the way it is to relate things for you in your mind. And obviously there are a huge number of things, like if you're curing cancer or herpes or any medically incurable disease, it's obvious that there are a great many things that you have to learn. And they're different for everybody. You do not have to learn everything that's listed here. And in fact, cure is instantaneous. And it's always unexpected how it will come. Like, watch these women. They're going to give you a perspective. This is a good way to conclude this little overview I'm giving you here. Say, can I go to the 144th dimension? See if you get a signal on that. Can I go to the 144th dimension?
Can I go to the 144th dimension? Yes? I guess I can.
Go ahead and do it.
Okay, both of you go to the 144th dimension.
I'm taking myself to the 144th dimension.
Me too.
No stopping for gas on the 8th dimension.
I feel clear.
I feel less interested in anything below the 144th dimension.
Can we stay here all the time?
I know, exactly.
Well, I mean, this would take a lot of backstory, but there's some decisions that my family's making that I now feel clear about.
Yes, because when you have that perspective from the 144th dimension,
Yeah.
You simply don't care about anything as much.
That's exactly it. But I don't care doesn't sound so good.
Well, see, that's right.
That is it. That's really
Denial effect.
When people hear we say we don't care, they go, "Well, God, that's sick," you know.
Okay, I know.